Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and join me yet again is Jason, wearing white, juggling Jay Ford. Jay, interesting stories today. Quite a few storylines. We have an interview with Lionel Can. Cranston
That's
Williams.
going to be interesting.
Well, very interesting. Cranston Williams, the BFA's second vice president, talking about referee shortage.
I'm starting to get tired of this story, but it's needed.
Yes. Had a conversation with the inline ball hockey president who was on island looking to bring a Masters tournament here next year involving some 500 to 600 guests. So it's a lot to talk about, but first let's get a message from our sponsor.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, Jay, we know Cup match is over.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to get an interview with Lionel, but unfortunately he left the day after Cup match. We got a chance to talk to him, and one of the most interesting and pressing questions for everyone is,
including me,
was the 2017, the 115th Annual Cup Match Classic his last? Your thoughts before we hear from Lionel, if it is indeed his last?
If it is his last, well, I'll take this opportunity to say, Lionel, thanks. I said it before, but thank you, and thank you again. Growing up, knowing Lionel, it's made a transformation as far as become a total cricketer. And not just on the field, but off the field. He's become a leader. And we mentioned off camera diplomat and Lionel Can, and I don't think we'd ever use those two words when he first started out, but he's matured so much in the game, and then as a person himself, I'm proud to say, Lionel, it's been a pleasure not only watching you, because you brought that excitement to the game, you brought that flair, that generation with you and Gennaro Tucker. It's been you guys' generation of bringing fans to the game, or fans to the radio or to the TV to take note, because Gennaro Tucker or Lionel Can was in. And I want to thank you. And not only that, you've stayed around to help coach, done a great job at work, and you can see the work that you've done at work. You've seen it pay off with some of these guys now, some of the youngsters now. So, and now you're still willing to give your hand out wherever it's needed. So on behalf of you guys, just as a fan personally and a brethren, we want to thank you.
Well, let's get the interview with Lionel Can on whether or not it was his last Cup match. Well, Lionel, the burning question for everyone is, was the 115th Annual Cup Match Classic your last?
I don't know yet myself. I'm still giving it a train of thought. Obviously, you want to finish up at home. But, St. George is going through a period now where, they're picking a lot of youngsters, and they need a little experience at the moment. So I'm just giving it a little thought, and we'll see what direction the club's going to take. But at this moment, I haven't made up my mind exactly. Because once I do, I'm going to make sure that that's the end. So I'm still thinking about it.
This Cup match was a bit challenging with a young team, getting bowled out cheaply. But another game-saving performance between you and Rodney. But making sure that if this was going to be your last, it wasn't going to be a losing one. How desperate were you to make sure you stayed at the wicket and kept company there as well?
It's through the experience, you know what I mean? Throughout the years, I had to play a lot of critical innings, especially like the last 10 years with like Clay and Charlie and, retiring and stuff. I've been a senior cat at the wicket. So It didn't matter if it was my last or whatever. It was just a game situation. I take every single game as it comes, and the situation called for me just to walk it on. Like you said, we have a young team, and Somerset had us in the first morning on a very damp wicket, ball seaming about. So it was always going to be a struggle, even for an experienced player. And then they got the best out of the wicket. It dried out, and then it started deteriorating again. So it was always going to be challenging to lose the toss. But Rodney's an experienced player. I think the first time that we've been to the wicket, so we just took one ball at a time, and we knew we couldn't win the game at the time. So it became pretty easy once the experience and stuff we've been through it before became quite easy to actually to stay to the wicket.
How special is it that now you're the third highest run scorer in cup match, and you've done it at St. George's?
Oh wow, yeah. When I first started, it isn't something that you think about. When I first started, I was batting like number 8. We had Randall, Dexter, Arnold, Charlie, Noel, Clevey, Graham Fox, like the list goes on. So when I started, I came in as a bowler, and I was batting number 8. And just like the last 5 or 6 years, when I became captain, I pushed myself up the order to 7 or 8. So you didn't even picture about even getting 1,000 runs. Nevertheless, way up there to be amongst likes of Randall Smith, Gennaro Tucker, obviously, Clay Smith, Lloyd James, Albert Steed. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, it's an honor just to even be up there.
Well, if it was your last, it was very special, and thank you for your time and the effort you put in at St. George's and for cricket in general.
Yeah, thank you. And it's some people I want to thank, like the fans, the players that I played with throughout the years, obviously opposing players. It's so many people that make this happen. The sacrifice and commitment that it takes. My family obviously have to sacrifice a lot. And it's been a good journey. If it is the end, I just hope that the game goes on. And what cup match players for Emancipation Day, what I mean, is a major thing also. So it's been lovely to be a part of it and actually play a good major role into it. And the game will continue with or without me, and the memories have been great.
Jay, staying with cricket, top performers. Obviously, some big numbers in both batting and bowling. 184 for Malachi against Somerset Cricket Club, batting for Bailey's Bay. Dion Stovall, 70 and 6 wickets. Malachi got to 3 wickets. Trey Manders got a 71 as a guest player for PHC.
Kamal Leverock, 6 wickets.
Trey also got 61 for Western Stars against St. David's. Brian Hall making 63. With I think now you see these numbers, you start saying, okay, now guys are comfortably into cricket. Would you agree?
Yeah, most definitely. And we said that was going to happen with the league starting a bit late. It's sort of unfair. I won't say unfair, but cup matches seemed like it just came too early.
Yes. Yeah.
It just felt like it came too early. But in saying that, just looking back at some of the league's stats, this is going to probably be, these guys might, I'm looking at the highest run getters. The last few years has either been, obviously Dion Stovall's been there.
Yeah.
And Dion Stovall's been there. Folks, I don't think you realize how many runs Dion's been making. Dion has been making at least 400 runs a season, probably for at least the last 6 to 7 seasons in a row.
Right.
I think that's, in itself, is something. Now, Alan Douglas has been up there the last couple of years also, obviously. Right. And then this year, he was leading. He was leading for basically much of the year up until this weekend. It was just overtaken by Malachi Jones, and he is just on the brink of passing 400 runs already.
Right.
And we've still got a few games to go. Now we're looking at, I've seen the last 5-6 years, the highest total was like 536 runs.
Right.
I think that's possible, and that was actually by Dion Stovall.
Right.
Chris Douglas has been there also. He went cheap this week, but who knows? He might still have another big knock in the league for this weekend. So, looking at that itself, the bowling, the 6 that Malachi had, and you think about it, I had to think back. Malachi is opening.
Yeah.
He's opening, and he probably about 5 years ago, he scored about almost 300 runs, I believe.
Right.
But he was batting down the order against some big, and I think he was playing for Willicots at the time.
Right.
Making some runs. But this year he's opening. That 184, 130 odd runs was in boundaries.
Yeah. 19 fours, 10 sixes.
Wow. Wow. I asked Earl, who dingo for runs?
We went down the list.
Down the list.
Just you and I.
Yeah. We were safe.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I'm also going fast forward for the preview of this weekend here. Because another person that took some, it was Dennis Munson.
Took 5 wickets.
Took 5 wickets.
Helping Cleveland get their first victory.
Yes.
Against Southampton Rangers.
Yes.
In a very low scoring affair.
Which was actually needed for them. It may be a bit too late for them in the league.
Right.
But
it's a morale booster.
It's a morale booster going to the county. And in the last Eastern County interview, he said they were basically concentrating on the league, not worrying about the county.
Right.
Well, this is actually morale booster going into county.
Right.
But also Malachi Jones, Derek Brangman, another great. Wow. What can you say about Derek Brangman?
Right. But you know what? You have to look at something, and one person that's been consistent all season for Bailey's Bay, and that's Rodney Trott.
Yeah.
Both bat and ball.
It's amazing because next to like Ruby and a couple of other guys, he's radically challenged. No, I'm just joking. Picnic, you're my boy. No, but Picnic is one of the smallest guys there.
Right.
But he's probably got the biggest heart.
And you could see that in the performance. Every time he now goes to the wicket, he cherishes his wicket, and he looks on the scoreboard and he decides what he has to do and plays his role. If you look at the same numbers you were looking at as far as runs, he's in the talking point. I'm pretty sure he's over 200 runs because of the knocks he's had for Bailey's Bay, but there's always been somebody that scored more runs to take the attention away. But you look at the consistency of his batting and his bowling, he might grab 2 wickets each game, or one time he'll get 3, but there's always somebody else got a little better figures or whatever, so he doesn't get the mention. But what he's doing is playing a captain's role each and every time he takes to the field.
You know what, Earl? And you saying that, it's going to be very interesting. Probably, like I said, got 2 to 3 games left. The MVP of the season.
Yeah.
I think it's still pretty much up for grabs.
Well, you know what happens.
There's obviously some favorites.
Right. Well, you know what happens. It's we look at it all the time. The person that scores the most runs and gets and has a decent amount of wickets, that person gets it. But they have to look at all-round performance, what that person was worth to their team.
It's interesting you said that, because you mentioned something with Picnic. Is when did they score the bulk of their runs? Or when did they grab most of the wickets?
Right.
Sometimes when you see a bowler end up with 5-6 wickets, sometimes he's picked up the tail end.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is non-batsman.
Yeah.
So
your
figures might look great, but if you ask him, was that a great spell from him? It'll probably be no.
No. Right.
So it depends. And see, depends. Do they look at that for the criteria of MVP?
Yeah.
Or are they just basing it off of stats?
Right. And to back up that claim, there was one bowler this weekend going. He bowled 2 overs, gave up 4 runs, and took 3 wickets.
Yeah.
He took the tail end.
Yeah. Right.
So that just backs up that claim that he had some good figures.
Yeah.
But what did he get?
Yeah.
He got the tail end.
So he will never forget it.
No, not at all. But that just solidifies what you were talking about. That the stats don't, unless you know them, you don't read into them like that. You just say, the person with the best figures was this person.
Right.
So you don't go to look to see he got Earl and Jason who were betting 8, 9, and 10. So those are the type of things that we had, that I hope they'll look at.
Well, we have that conversation all the time when it comes to MVP. We could talk about stats, or then we talk about valuable, which is the V part of MVP.
That's right.
How valuable is that person to that team?
Yeah. And not only that, not necessarily is the MVP of the season got to come from the league champions, because that one person who has kept that team in the division, kept that team in each match, even though they might not win all their matches. But that person is the most valuable person that you've been consistently looking at all year round.
You know what? That reminds me of Tamika Wilson a couple of years ago. I made a bunch of runs, but he needed to make those runs to keep Western Stars, because they were preseason, they were doom and gloom. Doom and gloom.
Yeah. They didn't win the league.
Didn't win the league.
But he won the MVP because of his performances throughout the entire year.
And it's consistent. And I think that's the main. You talked about Rodney Trott. his consistency from day one, even though Bailey's Bay got off to a slow start, he was still consistent.
Yeah, with bat and ball.
With bat and ball.
Yeah.
And his fielding also. We can't forget his.
Yeah.
He's a good fielder too.
Yeah.
So it was gonna be like I said, preview for this week's Eastern County. It's looking pretty good. I mean, for Bailey's Bay, we're going to feeling mighty confident.
Yes, 332.
With Steven still, in good nick.
Yeah.
Pierre Smith.
Yeah.
Good to see him back out.
Yes, indeed.
He'll probably be in contention. But Trey Manders in good nick. You just said 130 runs last week.
Yes, that's right. 2 matches, yeah.
Malachi Jones, Dak Brangman. I mean, the biggest headache would be for the coach, Irvin. What 11 are you going to play, Irvin?
See? 11. Just like I say all the time. I will have 11. Bailey's Bay will have 11. Cleveland will have 11. Ain't that right?
It's the quality of your 11.
No.
Yeah, that's real.
11 is 11.
Yeah, the quality of your 11 is 10 and a half-ish. Nobody out but the Cleveland. And that's the questions we would have to ask them for Cleveland. Who are they going to take? What gas players are they going to take?
Right.
Because obviously Deion Stovall will be there.
You see Hassan Durham made a weekend appearance
Yes,
for Southampton
and
Rangers.
I think he I have a little bird to me, just started training last week.
Yeah.
But also, just thinking about it, just go back to last weekend. Interestingly enough, Alan Douglas scored some runs in the Western Counties.
Sure.
Not for Warwick Workmans, who he used to play for.
But for Southampton Rangers.
Southampton Rangers. Now, will this be a preview if Southampton Rangers was to finish as the Western Counties champions?
Right.
Would this be a preview for the champions of champions?
Well, he's not eligible to play in the Eastern County, so he would be eligible to play in the, and you got to realize, who would Derek Bregman play for?
Those are some questions we'll have to wait and see if this whole plays out.
Yeah, well, and then again, remember, Deion Stovall is eligible to play for both Cleveland and, if they win it, Cleveland and Southampton Rangers. Yeah. So, it's at the end.
If Cleveland, if you win this week and happen to defeat Flats,
Deion
Stovall would have to have
be some mirror talking.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digicel customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
But Jay, from the talk of cricket to the football season, we're getting ready for the start of the 2017-18 Bermuda Football Association season, which is just about a month away. But there's a crisis. Referee and official shortage. And in speaking with the chairman of the referees, Cranston Williams, there's a possibility that there could be some matches that won't be played at its regularly scheduled time because of the shortage that they're facing. Let's get the interview with Cranston Williams, Bermuda Football Association's second vice president and chairman of the referees committee. Cranston Williams, second vice president of the Bermuda Football Association and chairman of the referees committee. Season just over a month away, but crisis time for your department. You're the chairman of the referees committee, as I stated. But we're in a crisis of sorts with a shortage. Any update you can give us regarding what position you find yourself and the association in?
As it stands right now, yes, there's going to be a chronic shortage of referees. We had a FIFA course in April, I think it was, and we had 35 persons that attended. Quite a few that did attend, however, came, as they stated, for information purposes. So from that, we had 9 persons that said they might possibly be interested. 3 have stated that they will make themselves available. Others, due to work commitments, skill commitments, have not been able to fulfill, I guess you'd say, the training schedule we put out. So I'm making a very, very strong appeal to the public. If you are interested in assisting with officiating, please fill out the application form to BFA, and we will arrange a course to get you on the field.
Feeling that, are we at a crossroads where there's a possibility that some matches might be played with one official, or some matches may be called off due to the lack of officials available?
That would be something the competitions committee to have to, I should say, deliberate on. But I do know for premier matches, ideally the referees or the referees committee prefers to have 3 qualified officials opposed to having 1 official and 2 club ARs, because in the premier division things are a little more technical, I guess you would say. In the first division there have been games where you have a referee and 2 club officials. Ideally it's not the best thing to do. We prefer to have 3 qualified officials. So that's what we're aiming for. But yes, we are in a crisis. So we desperately need persons to come out to become officials.
What does the number currently stand at to date for registered officials for the Bermuda Football Association?
From last year we had 22, and that included some of our junior referees who have now made the transition up to doing senior matches. This morning I had 1 person who attended the course come by to register, so I'm hoping 3 other gentlemen will also come by. We're also appealing for females, because as it stands right now, FIFA would love to have 3 qualified Bermuda ladies on their list, and there's an enormous amount of funding out there to make this happen. But to date, somehow females just have not come forward. I don't know why. I'm trying my best, doing everything we can to try and make them understand. You get on the FIFA list, you get to travel for free, they provide you uniforms, you get paid, you get to see the world. We're just trying.
I don't think you gave us a number there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said 22.
So it's 22?
Yes.
What is the number needed to be comfortable?
Ideally, there are 10 matches, normally on a Sunday, 3 officials per match. So ideally, we would like to have 30. That would mean no one has to double up, because when people have to double up, that also leads to possibility of injuries.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions that I had in my head, and I guess I'll ask, how much of the behavioral side, both on and off the field, is contributing to your numbers being low? And I know you're going to try and be diplomatic, but you leave that up to me. But yeah,
that's the main issue when we approach persons that look like they have potential to officiate. They say the abuse from the spectators is the number 1 reason why they do not wish to officiate. I've had a senior referee who was actually on the FIFA list, who came back out last year to help us out because we were in such dire straits. We officiated a game at PHC, I believe, and immediately following the game, due to some verbal abuse from spectators and players, he handed his resignation and said, that's it. So yes, that's the key factor.
Okay, so as the second vice president, not the chairman of the referees committee, the second vice president, your message to clubs to control players and some of their spectators, because there's only a handful of people that really are standouts.
Yes.
In abusing
our referees. Yes. I'd also state to fans and players, get to know the laws of the game, because the laws of the game changes every single year. So what an offside was 10 years ago is completely different in 2017, 2018. That's the main problem. People do not understand or know the rules of the game, so therefore they scream at the officials, not realizing that things have changed.
But as the second vice president, your message to clubs?
Control your players and control your fans. Plain and simple. We need to stop, and has to start somewhere. And this is the season where it will not be tolerated.
Jay, there's no surprise that there's a shortage for referees and officials for matches due to behaviors of players on the field, spectators off the field. No one wants to take control, or no one wants to talk about the elephant in the stadium. We've seen referees and referee assistants verbally abused, both on and off the field. And you keep asking yourself, would I want to do something like that? And the answer most of the time is no. And in order for these numbers to change, there's going to have to be some changes made amongst the clubs. Would you agree?
Most definitely. I think you're also missing out one other area too, because you hear those rumblings also. Discipline or disciplinary procedures.
Yes.
That has been lacking, especially with timing.
Right. They've had them. They just don't tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
And what happens is that sometimes it goes against the referee, or that player is right back out there again. But you're summing up to basically a lack of accountability.
Right.
Okay, so let's put it like this, players. I'm just go straight to the players. You need referees and linesmen.
In order to play a game.
To play a game.
Yeah.
If not, won't be sanctioned.
Right.
Backyard ball. Simple. But your actions are stopping somebody from picking up a flag. Now, they have tried recruitment. They have tried incentives. They have tried special training, the whole nine. But obviously, the elephant in the room, like you said, past players or folks don't want to get involved because of your actions. So, my solution, it's been said before, it's not something that is new.
Yeah.
Every club needs to appoint a linesman for every team that has to show up, because now your team will be accountable by one of your own. You can't rely on, because that will number one, will ease up the strain, whereas instead of sending 3 or 4 officials, they could send one main referee and you just have line. So it will ease up the strain a bit. But more importantly, hopefully it will ease up the attitudes towards the linesman.
Yes.
And then to the referee. That's just a short-term thing, but mostly importantly of all, players, you gotta change. You've got to change. If not, you're gonna find yourself playing backyard football on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Not afternoon, morning.
Yeah. And those clubs that adhere to the disciplining of their players should be allowed to stay.
Well, and that's my other problem I have, Earl, and you know that I'm tired of waiting for the BFE to discipline somebody else's players.
Yeah. That's your player.
And we have a society problem like that. We're waiting for government or somebody else to discipline our kids. I hate to tell you, our kids, we need to do that first.
Right.
And then if the BFE thinks that there's additional
punishment,
then they'll be tacked on. But I think there needs to be a proactive approach when it comes to the clubs, when it comes to discipline their own players.
Simple as that.
I don't know if it's simple.
Well,
that's the problem. I don't know if it's simple.
It is. It is. To be honest, it is. If people take responsibility.
But why are we still having these conversations year after year then?
Because people won't take the responsibility. Simple. And that's a simple statement. People will not take. They wait for someone else so they could blame the person who took the responsibility of punishing their player to say, oh, the oar's picking on my club. Or the oar's picking on this player. When you saw the player do or say what they said and you did nothing.
Okay, so, and this is where I want to make sure that we get this right. We're not condemning all players.
No.
Let's really shut that down before it even goes anywhere. Right? There's always one or two. And we say one or two that spoils the bunch. Well, that sometimes they may be the leader or be a leader of what? Might not be the captain, but still might be a leader, and people will follow them.
Yes.
So if they go down the wrong path, everybody's going down the wrong path. We're just talking about discipline. And just this week, Ronaldo, you would say what?
5 games.
Top 2 player in the world.
In the world, yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
Discipline for...
Well, 4 games. He got a 4-game suspension.
Shoving
a referee.
Yeah.
Just like that.
No ill intent.
Yeah.
5 games.
Well, 4 games because he got the one
Right,
game.
right. So
Yeah,
4
so 4-game suspension. So he misses 5 games just for that. But guess what? It was dealt with right away.
Right away.
Right away. They didn't wait for nothing. Everybody saw it. So what? You didn't have to wait for a referee report. You saw it. And I'll tell you what. We probably would never find out, but I bet you Real Madrid gave him a fine too.
Yeah.
Because remember, you represent the club, and you have an obligation to behave yourself. And one thing about professional football, they levy a fine right away.
Well, you know where a lot of that punishment will be basically out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Because that's 5 games.
Yep.
Which you will get a match fee.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He gets a salary per week.
Yes. Yeah. You can't represent us during that time because of your behavior.
That's deduction.
Thank you very kind.
And we're talking about one of the top players in the world. So that 5 games will probably cost him over a couple of $1 million.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
But back to the point, the principle of it was dealt with immediately.
Immediately. Yeah.
So we just keep our fingers crossed and let's try to give our officials, and let's get, like we talked about with cricket, they're not going to get every call right.
Yeah.
It's not. But just think about it. Sometimes you do get away with a lot of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
You know, sometimes you may have fouled somebody it wasn't a foul.
That's right.
You may have handed the ball and it wasn't a handball. So let's.
It all goes back.
We
and
want
forth.
to see football.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It doesn't make sense us getting excited for a matchup and then, take off from work or line up our day to come to a match. And then the last thing they tell me is not going to be played because no officials.
Right. Yeah.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digicel. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Well, Jay, from the football field to the indoor martial arts mat, we had Mark Pryor open a Brazilian martial arts school right in Hamilton. I got a chance to speak with Pryor and a coach he's brought in from Brazil. Let's get the interview with the Bermuda Combat Club.
Like that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. That's good. Move back. Keep me, please. Keep me. Let's get it. Chest up, keep it up. Chest up. Yeah. Breathe. 4. Get on a little bit low. Keep your chest up. 5. Very good. 6. Yeah. Okay. 7. Just a little bit. 8. 9. 10. 11. Time to use just a little bit. Chest up. 12. Chest up. Gotta keep it up. 13. Thank you. High kick is mine. 16. 17. Chest up. It's a little kid. 8. Chest up. Okay. 9. More. Yes, boy. Good.
I'm Mark Pryor. I'm the assistant head coach at Brazilian top team Bermuda.
I am Marcos Tulio. I'm head coach Brazilian top team Bermuda.
Mark, obviously something new coming to Bermuda. People have been watching and waiting for something of this nature to come. How exciting is it to be a part of putting on or taking Bermuda to another level of not only boxing but fighting in Bermuda?
Oh, it's very exciting. I've been working on this for a number of years now. I've been competing in sports that I'm not necessarily specialized in. I'm a grappler, but I've been competing in striking for a while since, well, I've been setting this all up, and I've had some loyal fans, some new people interested in what we've been doing. And since we started the company, we've had an international UFC seminar for striking, grappling, and MMA. We've had a great response from the community. We started our anti-bullying program. But then it was time to get to work and do this full time. So finally we're here full time. We're bringing MMA to Bermuda through our team, Brazilian Top Team. We have affiliated as Brazilian Top Team Bermuda, and we brought down a world-class coach in Professor Marcos Tulio. He's a third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
What is Marcus' background, if you can explain that?
Okay.
Your background in fighting.
Man, it's my experience in BJJ and experience in boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, and American top team in Florida, and Brazil, and Brazilian top team Fortaleza, and 30 years experience in. It's a champion Brazil Jiu-Jitsu and champion world Jiu-Jitsu and champion Pan-Americano, Asiático, and 3 belts in NAGA, North Association Grappling Information. It's the best grappling. It's a world, USA, America, okay?
What do you think of the ones you have seen in Bermuda thus far, the athletes you've seen in Bermuda? What do you think their potential is?
Bermuda grappling good?
It's new grappling in Bermuda, you know? It's me here in Bermuda, but it's because it's my experience, but people in Bermuda and grant training in grappling in Bermuda, okay? And it's people in Bermuda and some strikes and kickboxing, boxing, sanda, no grappling. It's here. It's the best grappling, bro.
Mark, can you explain just what grappling is? Because it's something we've talked about, even leading up to some of the fights you've had that are not grappling here in Bermuda, but people don't get it. At times, you look like you want to grab, you want to do that, but it's not the fights that you've been in. So can you explain what grappling is?
Absolutely. Grappling is basically any martial art without any striking. Wrestling, judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all types of wrestling. There's so many arts that don't involve striking. And when we're in no-gi, so rash guard and shorts, that encompasses a mixed rules of all the grappling arts. And we teach that as well. Submission grappling or no-gi grappling. In the gi, which our gis will arrive real soon, that's when we do our traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's when you're able to use different grips, collar chokes, grab the trousers. With no-gi, there's different grips. It's a lot faster game. So for people like myself who have started off with grappling and specialize in grappling, then trying to strike, it's just learning and expanding, becoming a full fighter, much like how strikers now want to learn grappling to transition to MMA, which is what we're seeing now. Joining our team as our membership is growing dramatically. They want to learn what's new. They want to become complete fighters, and everyone, all martial artists, each one teach one. That's been a philosophy for generations here, and that's what people want, and that's what we offer.
You did mention that you were looking to have self-defense classes for obviously for youngsters, male and female. What does that entail? How do you plan to roll that out under these conditions?
Well, it's really simple. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a gentle art. That's what they call it. It's a restraining art. It's most common now in schools. If you fight back, if you're being bullied and you strike back, you hit back, you become the bully and you both get punished. But with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and how we want to show you how to use these techniques, you can restrain people until help comes. You don't become the aggressor. You don't become the victim. You are empowered to protect yourself in those situations when your back is against the wall. And what we want to become is a resource for charities, a resource for other organizations to show them, look, you don't have to hit somebody to end the fight. You can choke them out. you can restrain them, you can control them until help comes. And that's what we want to focus on, and that's what we'll demonstrate during our grand opening. That will also be, we specialize in focusing on vulnerable persons, so abuse victims, children, elderly, even some establishments who are requiring some security services, or at least services for themselves to empower themselves. If it's within arm's reach, they might have a chance. And we want to show them exactly how much of a chance they have if these techniques are used. So yes, we train here for fighters, for average people, for vulnerable people. We have classes for everybody. And I actually thought that we'd be getting, our niche would be fighters. We're actually getting the average person. Men and women in their 50s, 40s, 30s. We have teens. We have people who aren't athletic, people who are athletic, 1 or 2 fighters that are coming as well. And the point is, the people who have different abilities, different injuries, different things that they're working with, there's so many movements in what we teach in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They're able to find value in that and show it and prove it and win. So everyone's having a good time.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digicel. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Jay, between 500 and 600 competitors can possibly descend on the island next year, as early as next year, to play a Masters Street Bowl Championship tournament right here in Bermuda at the PCC hockey rink. The president of the International Street Bowl Hockey Federation was in Bermuda, had talks with government, had talks with the Bermuda Tourism Authority. The president actually got a chance to play on the surface, in which he, was delighted to be a part of, to come down and have these talks, because of the fact that whenever Bermuda go to a tournament, they're the talk of the town. They're the way they handle themselves, the way, and these guys, if you know them, they're not really Bermudian, but they represent what Bermuda's about when they go on tour, and that's what I think these guys, and especially the president, were very impressed with, the fact that these guys come in their Bermuda shorts, they are friendly, they get along with everyone, they mix and mingle, and they play strong hockey.
Yeah, and I think you just mentioned the pride of the flag. If you're going to represent a country, even though it's not from your birthplace, but if you're going to represent a country, you've seen that in other jurisdictions like USA. You see the track and field athletes who come from other countries, but when they put on that flag or those colors, the spirit of that flag and color goes with them. So, it's of course everywhere you go with talk anytime.
Yeah. That's it. Goslings.
Yeah.
Barretts.
Yeah. We just have a friendly approach to introduce people to what we like.
Well, let's get the interview with the president of the street bowl hockey, right here in Bermuda. Well, Mr. Gortzos, first, welcome to Bermuda. You're here on a mission. What's your aim and goal for this trip here, in particular, to Bermuda?
Well, thanks for asking me. The mission is to bring people from Europe, ball hockey players from Europe, North America, the Caribbean, and Asia here to play with this great family of ball hockey players we have here in Bermuda, who have been great ambassadors for the sport around the world for many years.
Now, your position as president of the organization, you've met a lot of these guys that represent Bermuda. What do they bring to the tournaments, and what could a possible tournament do for Bermuda hockey?
Well, the Bermuda team is one of the most well-liked teams. First of all, because they represent Bermuda so well. They've been highly successful. They've won B World Championships. They've competed in the A. But also they bring a level of the Bermuda personality to the events. And people from Slovakia, Hong Kong, the rest of the world that comes to our event, Finland, they get to see what Bermuda is all about through these gentlemen, and they do such a great job of representing the island. What I hope to attain is we're looking at the feasibility of bringing the World Masters Championships here. So bringing, 500 to 600 players to play in this rink, to experience Bermuda and all it has to offer, to bring, the economic impact that would bring to the island. Because if the player comes and experiences, this level of play here, they're going to come back. And our goal is to do that, and also perhaps to leave a legacy. Perhaps when we bring our top refs here, maybe train some Bermudian youth to ref here in the league so that they can earn a living here reffing the guys, and maybe coming to some of our world events around the world. And, and maybe other kids to be ambassadors for all the national teams that come here. So there's a lot of things that we're working on to make it a win-win.
Well, I know you want to get on the rink to have a feel for it, and then you'll be able to spread that message about what Bermuda is like.
Yes, I'm looking forward to getting on this rink. As a boy born in Canada, it's kind of surreal to see it here, but I think I'm going to enjoy it very much. So thank you for having me.
Well, Jay, on Sunday, a 64-mile race took place in cycling. Youngsters dominated in both categories, both male and female, with youngster Matthew Oliveira taking the title by some, I want to say, 6 or 7 minutes. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 4 minutes over the rest of the field. He had built a 7-minute lead, and he was in having lunch by the time.
Distance-wise, that had to be close to 2 miles, isn't it?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Settled in, heading east. And just comfortably took on, I first spotted him on South Shore by Southampton Princess, and he had a 4-minute lead on the field then. It grew as he went into Dockyard and got even bigger when he saw the field going in and he was coming out.
Finished.
I would stop, turn around, and try to chase him down, and give him make it look good. You could DQ me afterwards, but somebody's got to get on the wheel, man. So had a chance to talk with Matthew after the race. A very interesting conversation, and also what the plans are for him in the immediate future with some international competition coming up. So let's get the interview with Matthew Oliveira, the champion of the President's Cup race on Sunday. Matthew, putting in the work. Close to a 6-minute win overall. Obviously, you have to be pleased with your performance, but the plan going out, did you think it was going to be that way, that you broke away on the causeway heading into St. George and then you built up that 6-minute lead?
Actually, no, I didn't think it was going to happen like that today, but the top of crawl is when I made my move going out towards St. George's. And when I made my attack, I thought that I would bring a couple guys with me, but everyone hesitated to come on my wheel. So I felt like that I could just give it all I get, give it all I have, and get the biggest gap I can as fast as I can, and just maintain it, because the course is pretty flat. There was only a few big hills in the course, like McGall's Hill and White Hill and Scour Hill, and that's not my strong suit. My strong suit's like drilling on flats and keeping a high speed, so I just did that for the rest of the loop of the island, and I managed to keep increasing my gap.
When you look at it, there are certain areas on the course where you get to see how far people are behind you.
Yeah.
The first time you saw the peloton chasing you, what was your thoughts as you went across them?
The first time I saw the peloton was by Lagoon Park, coming out of Dockyard, and they were going in. So I knew that had to be around 4 or 5 minute lead that I had, and I knew that I had about 12 miles left to the finish, and it was a bit of a head-in crosswind, so I just maintained it. I knew that if I just had to stay safe and I finished the race safely, then I'd win.
Coming through the finish line must be satisfying for you, when the youngest to win this.
Yes.
But how does this set you up for the rest of your race season? Because you got some big races coming up, Caribbean Championships and the like.
Yeah, we leave on August 30th to go to Vermont for the Green Mountain Stage Race. It's 4 days racing in the mountains in the Green Mountains in Vermont. And that will be me, Caden Hopkins, Alyssa Rouse, Dominique Mayo, Shaquan Richardson, and our coach Peter will be going on the trip with us. Then hopefully we can not qualify, but it's not a qualifying event, but Junior World Championships, you attend it if you think you're strong enough because it's the best juniors in the world. So right now our coach Peter's trying to sort us out to go, me and Caden and Alyssa. If we can get to that, that'd be the highlight of my racing ever. And then in November we're going to Puerto Rico for the Caribbean Championships.
All right, well, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Jay, another Digicel show done and dusted.
Yeah, done and dusted. But I'm going to see if I can get a quick prediction out of you today. Just quick prediction.
Oh, boy.
Bay of Cleveland. Folks, second round Eastern County Cup. We have the results next week. I knew I couldn't get it.
Have a good evening.
I know I couldn't get him. I tried.